Welcome to our usual hovers. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today I can play for the game Cycles. But after waking from a nightmare, we find ourselves trapped in a series of looping events and personal horrors. Black void of nothingness. My body felt weightless and heavy at the same time. Free and constricted. A familiar sorrow kept a tight grip over my heart. Well, I do love staring into the abyss. Let's take a look around the void. Darkness surrounds me. Something about this fills me with dread. I'm not feeling so good. I shouldn't have done that. Well, with that sense of regret, let's try to walk. Where am I? Does it matter? A pale face, sinister smile, sunken dark holes where eyes were supposed to be. Only a weak red shimmer revealed it was staring at me. Who are you? Wake up. My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. It was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. It seemed that I had woken up rather earlier. Sun was barely out and my parents were still deeply asleep. For once, I didn't feel like crap waking up this early, so I took the chance to savor the peace of not having anyone awake at the moment. Okay, so let's give our room a quick snoop around. I cleaned my room not so long ago. The air feels so light and calm. I take a deep breath and feel so refreshed. I took a second to take in how well it felt to have my room like that. Well, I'm guessing our desk is going to be tidy as well then. I leave my medication inside the drawer. I haven't felt the need to take them for some time, but I could just be safe and take it. Are we supposed to choose not to just take it? I mean, it depends what the medication is, right? But in most cases, aren't we at least supposed to finish the dose? I feel like we should consult the doctor. I wonder if there is someone online too. Oh, so I can choose to take the pills. Actually, I don't know if we should or not, because I don't know what the pills are. You know what? I'm gonna see if my friends are online and I can always circle back to the pills. I spent some time to say hi to my friends. A couple of them were asleep, but most were up and free to spend some minutes just talking. I'm honestly glad that I've been making some improvement in being a bit more social lately. I feel a lot better. Then it's back to those pills. You know what? Maybe it's because we didn't specify there was a reason we stopped taking them other than we felt we didn't need them. That I think we should take them. I took the pills with some water. I think maybe I should have left the pills for later, however. Oh, was I supposed to take them with food? My bad. And I think it's time to leave then. I don't think there's anything else to do at the desk. Wait, oh, yeah, I've done anything. I was going to wonder if they're going to let me take double pills then. That would have been a bad idea. Okay, time to leave. Feeling that hunger real good right now. Better grab something to eat already. I went out to the kitchen having some idea of what to eat. However, as quickly as I was thinking about my breakfast, I found that we were lacking basically anything to make a quick bite. I'd rather not cook anything. I'll get some bread for some quick toast and be done with that. Sighing and resigning myself to get some bread for the local bakery, I got my boots on and went outside. Outside it was rather chilly. The sun had come up a little more since I woke up, but it was still quite early in the morning for most people to be out. I could also see the clouds starting to form in the sky. Not wishing to get rain on the bread while on my way back, I started speed walking to the store. Oh! Okay, so this is definitely going to be part of the nightmare, right? Considering we've got the backward sign. It didn't take longer than a couple of minutes for me to get there, and thankfully, it was one of the few places that opened this early in the city. I was dreading the idea of getting there, only for me to find it closed. There was only a single person working inside the store. Something about them gave me the creeps. However, I just shook the feeling and walked closer. Hey! Run! Run, 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 run! Can I get out, 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 get out! Why? Hello there. That voice. Didn't take you long. Ah, the demon from my nightmares. Ooh, I like the artwork. And as soon as I heard that, I found my body fall into infinity of blackness, back into that realm my nightmare had created, but this time feeling very much real. You know, maybe it's not my nightmare that created this realm. Maybe it was just him. I screamed, but no sound could be heard in this emptiness. No light, no senses, just the vertigo of falling upon the eternal abyss. Wake up! My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. It was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. I wonder if we can actually remember those events then, or if it just resets our mentality to the start as well. But something felt so very off with it. Not fully reality, not fully unreal. I shook the idea of my head. It was pointless to make sense of such nightmares. Oh, so I'm guessing we do remember then. We just chalk it up as being part of the nightmare. Huh. I say have another look around our room, see if anything's changed. My decrepit grey room stared back at me, with walls dusty and with cobwebs. Maybe someday I should put some decorations, but I just don't have the money nor energy to do that. The emptiness. Focusing on that might not have been good. I just shook my head and continued. Oh. So we're not mentioning the fact we just cleaned our room this time. I leave my medication inside the drawer. I haven't felt the need to take them for some time, but I could just be safe and take it. I wonder if there is someone online too. Oh, we don't get the option to take the pills this time. I wonder if that's because I've technically already taken them. I spent some time looking to talk to my friends. Some were busy or not woken up yet. Different time zones made it so sometimes things like these happened, but still managed to cheer me up a little. I guess it's time to leave, because we can't take our pills again. My stomach began to growl. I somehow felt especially hungry this morning. That was rather strange. The kitchen was a mess of spilled food and dust. No one had done the dishes in a while. The bread on the drawer was moldy and hard as a rock, not edible at all. There wouldn't be any toast with that. I couldn't recall when was the last time I had done groceries, but it was clear we needed to work on that soon. Where did your mum go? Huh? It was my father. Where did your mother go? Oh, you seem to be missing your face as well. Do you happen to know the creature from my dreams? No idea. As usual, just having him nearby put me on edge. What are you doing? Just leave already. I was looking for something to eat. He got closer. I was taller and fitter than him, yet I still felt so small around him. Might go buy some bread. You going outside? Don't talk to me. That's a rare occasion. Be gone. I got some money left from the groceries. You can give it to me and I'll buy it. I don't believe you. Nah, I can go. I feel like taking some sun for once. Haven't gone out of the house in weeks. I could feel him getting annoyed at that answer. The air began to feel oppressive in the kitchen, so I just grabbed my shoes and left. I feel like we probably should not have mentioned the fact we had money. Maybe we should have just gone and bought bread and just hoped he didn't notice. Once outside the apartment, I had the chance to catch my breath. It all felt far more intense than usual. Maybe he was having a bad day, and I just so happened to be nearby. It was a good idea that I left quickly. The elevator wasn't working. Now that I remember, it's been months since it had been like this. Too expensive. Like everything, it was far too expensive to get it fixed. Using the stairs was the only way down. It was the only one floor, so not much to worry about. But as I went down, it felt like going down a spiral, far lower than a single floor. Vertigo began to overtake me. There was something off, but it didn't matter. I continued down, and after a long while, longer than it had any reason to be, I found the door to the main floor. I pushed the door. Its hinges felt a little rusted, but the door opened without much effort. And I'm guessing we find ourselves back in the abyss. I almost never went outside. Ever since graduating, I didn't have much reason to, unless I bought stuff online, or maybe doing the groceries when I had the money for it, and I wanted to actually go myself. Last time it had taken $500. I missed when it was only 200, but there wasn't much I could do. Just keep working, hoping I'd make more next month. The janitor hadn't come in a while, it seems. A thin layer of dust lay at the floor, dulling the color of the tiles. Flickering lights made the whole ambient feel more depressing than usual. I was just hoping that there wouldn't be any electrical problems this day. Finally out at last, I took my time taking as much sun as I could, even if it was under the cloudy grey skies. I didn't leave my room, let alone the house, much, but how it felt more revitalizing. One or two people were outside. Didn't know any of them. Not that it was any strange. Not the type to talk much with the people in the neighborhood. There was a lack of people taking their pets out, and none of the usual street cats just walking around. That's because we're gonna find ourselves still trapped in the nightmare. Must be the incoming rain. Not that I cared for a little rain. It made me feel like a kid to feel the rain falling on me, so if anything, it was slightly hoping that maybe a bit of rain would come. However, soggy wet bread wasn't my idea of a breakfast, so I still had resigned myself to just speed walk to the bakery and get it done. I took my time walking through the neighborhood. The church was closed today, probably due to the time. Not that I cared, in all honesty. There wasn't any security guards at the exit. I began to walk out. The streets felt rather cold, better than the usual hot day of summer we get here. No cars seemed to be around. Maybe it was just a rather unique time of day when most people weren't out on the street, so I took the liberty to avoid the crooked crosswalk for a while. The store wasn't all that far, but I didn't have any rush to get there on time. It took a lot to make me willing to go out like this, but I wanted to really stay out as much as I could. I really should start cycling again. The air felt so light and free. Compared to that house, especially near my father, it felt much nicer to be here. Wait, describing the air as light and free, wasn't that how we described our bedroom in the first cycle? The path kept going and going, time stretching as if rubber, the world blending into a calm sense of peaceful movement. I had missed walking like this. Step followed step, and that followed another step. It was then that I arrived at the intersection. The traffic lights were out of service, but it didn't matter. No car was there, so I just crossed. This was the type of loneliness I could appreciate, calm and just allowing myself to exist without being under an ever watchful silent eye. I was suddenly at the bakery. It seemed to be closed, but I didn't mind the extra time away from the apartment. I just sat down and waited. Time became like a calm lake, barely moving, as I just laid there, waiting for anything to catch my attention. More people seemed to be out now. No cars still, just the masses of unfamiliar faces. They were staring. Suddenly anxiety came over me. Their expressionless faces, as cold as daggers, pierced me like I was made of wet cardboard. Oh, well, that would be a creepy experience. Well, we could close our eyes and try to ignore them. You know what? If I close my eyes and I can't see them, then they clearly cannot see me. I still could feel them staring at me. However, not seeing them helped slightly. Why did suddenly everyone have so much interest in me? I'd rather just be ignored and left in peace. Try as I might, even with my eyes closed, their judgmental gazes were too much. Breathing began to speed up. My heart shook my body with each beat. The immobile time that once was so calming became a sudden endless source of anxiety as I stood up and began to walk away, trying to clear my mind. Is it all in my head? I lowered my gaze to the floor. I didn't want to see if I was still being stared at, but my body could still feel them crawling over my skin like the worms on a corpse. I would just take the chance, walk around the block. It always helped me calm myself and order my thoughts when I was having a hard time. It must have been just my mind playing a cruel joke. You don't reckon it's because I took the pills, right? I took another look at what I was wearing. Everything was normal. There were no holes. I didn't have anything out of place. Then why did I still feel as if I suddenly was walking using the skin of another? You know, maybe they're staring at me because I have a face. I'm assuming I have a face. I mean, they're clearly all lacking theirs, right? It was always the same. Once a bad thing happened, or it felt like it did, it all spiraled down. It was what kept me locked up in a boring grey room. Better nothingness in the familiar than the badness that could be. It's not normal to feel like I'm under this constant scrutiny. Before I noticed I had walked far beyond what I intended, I looked around and the whole ambience felt alien. I didn't recognize a single space. The street felt like it extended towards an unknown infinite. Walked too far. No way home now. I looked behind me, but the street where I had come from was no more. Do I really want to go home? At least here I'm alone. Suddenly, the sound of a motor raging at the distance. Do I really have a place to call home? When I saw where I was coming from, I found myself right in the path of a large truck, rushing towards me without care. Just an apartment I happened to live in. Before it hit me, I could see the visage of a pale, bold man, eyes hidden within malevolent darkness, and a grin that delighted of cruelty. I found myself fly, shifting from pain and numbness, consciousness and unconsciousness. I never hit the floor, as the world around me once again had been swallowed by a deep darkness. Huh, I'm beginning to think the creature of our dreams doesn't particularly like us. Cold and hot, a mixture of one feeling and the other, all so overwhelming that in the end it was as if it was nothing, falling and flying with no up nor down. Again! My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. It was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. I seem to have woken up late today. Did I go to sleep late yesterday? Oh, well, our room has definitely changed, right? I don't remember these bits just lying around. Can't remember if I did. Wouldn't be that strange if I had. Work and just not wanting to deal with the next day had become a particularly bad habit of mine. Somehow, I still feel tired. Oh, I can relate to that. Sitting on the edge of the bed, I try to think what to do. I don't really have any motivation, so I could just pass the day until something piques my interest. I can't think of anything I would want to do. Too tired and too bored to even formulate a thought. Moving the clothes on my chair so I can sit there. I just wait. I haven't turned the computer on, so the blurry reflection of my face stares back at me from that black screen. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. Huh, I wonder what's changed in our room then. Mountains of dirty clothes piled in my basket. I hadn't cleaned much in a long while. Looking at my chair, another mountain of clothes. They were all clean. I had just never put my mind into putting them into the closet. I'd just pass it to the bed in the day and back onto the chair when I decided to sleep. My room was starting to feel oppressive, not as much as the outside, but it was starting to really affect me. I leave my medication inside the drawer. I haven't felt the need to take them for some time, but I could just be safe and take it. I wonder if there was someone online too. I really feel like we need to keep taking our medication. Okay, are there any friends online? I'm getting to the point where I'm going to think, like, as soon as we click on the friends, we're going to interact with them and they're going to hate us, right? Because in every cycle, our situation is getting worse and worse. Almost everyone was still asleep. Made sense considering the time zones were they. Made sense considering the time zones where they were at. The ones that were awake were in at their own jobs or just busy as a whole, so we couldn't talk much. Except for one person, who similarly to me seemed to be having sleeping problems. We talked for a while until they finally passed out of exhaustion. At least there was someone. For this cycle. Next cycle, I'm going to think we have no one. I can hear steps outside. Loud ones. Not again. The sound of things crashing in the ground. The sound of steps growing in loudness. I try to make myself smaller, covering my ears and trying to ignore the outside. Useless. Cussing, yelling, and more joins the cacophony outside my room. I don't know who he is fighting with. More crashing, more noise. It all becomes too hard for me mind to process. No matter how many times I live through it, there is no way to get used to it. I put my shoes and dash towards the exit. Where? I pay no attention to it. Before he can finish, I'm already far from the apartment. My body shakes. I feel cold to the bone. Alertness overwhelming my senses as I sat at the entrance of the apartment building. Same story, same day, same life, same nightmare. No matter how much time passes, it doesn't get better. I feel his screams on my body. They are what is shaking me to my core. No peace lasts that long. I could only wait. My phone had barely any battery. I had no energy for a walk. I just wanted to lay in there, become another pebble in the ground. Probably there is more tranquility in the life of a small ant. I felt sorry for leaving my brother there, and I was hoping the fight wasn't with my mom. I just need a small break. Just a small break. Time went on, moving through the street in front of me, while my body merged with the wall I was leaning on, rotting and its existence began to blow. My body numbing as my eyes struggled to keep open. So boring, so tired. Then, a sudden flash of images. A truck, a bakery, faceless people's judgment. I came back to myself as it felt the once peaceful grey sky turn a shade of red. What? The noise came back. An orchestra of chaos and madness. It was painful to hear, but there was nothing I could do to muffle it. I say then, all we do is just put on the sound of madness and hope for the best. Where are you going? Run, 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 run! You ingrate piece of crap! Fight, 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 fight! What? I was outside no more. The apartment was again surrounded me. I ran to the door, but it was closed shut. You think I'm a monster? My blood ran cold. My legs debated whether to give in and fall or run far, far away. Well, I don't exactly know where we can run to. The door was locked, right? I say try and fight. My body didn't react. I'm your father! He grew and grew and grew. He was taller. He was bigger. I had trained so much, but it never meant anything if he was mad. You will respect me. Before my body could do anything, I was tossed like a toy. Oh, maybe running was a better idea. Falling to the floor, fearful, sadness, anger all began to fill every fibre of my body. One slap, move, a punch. Please do something. Another slap, another punch. Do something. He holds me in a headlock. I'm seeing red. Hate, 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 hate. I bit his arm with all my strength, his blood mixing with mine, but he doesn't relent. He is far too gone in his anger, and it has infected me. As an Ouroboros eating itself, I fall into the darkness, where there is nothing but cold non-existence. I feel myself being dragged down this time, no longer falling without a direction, being dragged ever more into the darkness. I have no say anymore. Before it was inaction that kept me in this trajectory. Now is a force far stronger than anything I can muster. I feel like giving up. Why keep going? I fought enough. There is no fun in that. That voice, repeated once more. No fun at all. A flash in my head. A demon. A human. Sunken eyes hidden in shadow. My body reacts on its own. The feeling on those dark eyes awakens a survival instinct that my own mind can't control. I can feel its insidious smile. It makes me shudder. Keep going. Each word makes my body react more violently, out of dreadful fear, shaking the grasp of whatever was dragging me. I was free. Good. I began to run far, farther, as far as I could go from that voice. There is no good feast without a little fun. My mind was being fried, the overwhelming dread pushing and dragging in every direction, telling me to leave, but there was no leaving. No leaving him. I get the feeling that if we tried to run at that choice, it probably would have just led to our inaction again, right? Wake up. My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. It was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. This is no nightmare. My room. I didn't remember when I had painted it red. Oh. Did we paint it red in blood? Did we actually kill the father? I am feeling uneasy. There was a hideous smell permeating not only my room, but what felt like the whole apartment. Someone must have taken a box with rotten food out of the fridge. Or, there's a decomposing father in the living room. I could barely breathe. I didn't feel safe anywhere, but just looking at my room and how neglected it was filled me with pain. Wait, what if it's not the father that's dead? What if we're dead and that's why we're stuck repeating these events? This was our last day alive. Oh, that'd be morbid if we're now just smelling our own rotting corpse. I leave my medication inside the drawer. I haven't felt the need to take them for some time, but I could just be safe and take it. I wonder if there is someone online too. Please, someone, just... A notification. A hand stretched to help. It took some effort, but lets it help in. Before I knew, a long time had passed. It might have been a small thing, but having someone reach out made me feel a lot better. I'm still curious what would happen if we just never took the pills. I went outside. The stench concentrating in my room made it impossible to stay. My mum was in the living room, watching TV. She was on one of her few days off in the house. Hi, Mum. Hi. Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, Mother, are you deceased? Your neck is at a funny angle. Tired. My head hurts a bit. How about you? I'm a bit tired. I think the stress from the job is getting to me. I don't feel like my sleep has been that good for a long while. What reason is there for you to be stressed? Just worried about food, bills. There is no reason to be stressed. Just don't be. I feel a pit in my stomach. You just sit on your computer. There is no reason for you to be stressed. But I work so much. I work so hard every day. And the house is always so damn dirty. When I come back, no one gives me a hand. I wish I could do more. I barely have the energy to leave the bed. White noise, a splitting headache. Something is wrong. The world, it's not normal. A series of repetitions, so close to reality, yet I was too blind to see its distortions. The creature looking at the TV saw me with dead eyes. Father, is that you? Don't be stressed. Heart racing, I run to my room. I don't turn to face back, but I feel it behind me. I close the door. The air feels stagnant. The whole world felt off. This is no nightmare. Screams, yelling, a fight broke outside. I hear the raging voice of my father, but it's not him. Something's wrong. So close, but at the same time not close at all. The walls peel off, eyes staring at me. No room is safe. There is no safe haven in this hell. I bolt out of my room. There is no apartment left, just a series of corridors stretching into a dark infinite. Trapped, I felt the oppressive presence of what I thought was my father nearby. It was hunting me. Run, hide, escape, leave, run, hide, escape, leave, run, hide, escape, leave, run! I begin to move, but there is no corridor anymore. Cornered, I look back. The monster was getting closer and closer. I felt as if my heart was going to give out. I wanted to puke and just pass out right then and there. Respect me! It's closer, closer, closer. I threw my phone at it in an act of desperation and closed my eyes to brace myself. Nothing came. Fearful, I opened my eyes. I was back in the darkness. How many times has this happened? At this point, I felt more familiar with this void than my own home. I was no longer falling, but I was still on edge. Wake up! My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. It was just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. Wait, hold on. I woke up, yet I'm still in the void? This is not a nightmare. Wake up! I stepped out of bed. No. I stepped out of my room. No. I stepped out of my house. No. I was at the dark place. My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts, but I was still in the darkness. Wake up! I said wake up! My body felt the shock of but I was still in the darkness. I'm no longer dreaming. Damn you! I couldn't see, but this place was familiar to me. Even though my eyes were no useful, my body knew how to traverse it. I was having such fun. I was hoping for it to last a few hundreds more. Hundreds? Oh, 100 cycles, probably. Pay no mind to it. I hate it when they break. It no longer has power over me. A game is supposed to be played by the rules, but it still is dangerous. Let's try something else. Run. Braving the darkness, I sprinted. my body guiding by some force of will long forgotten. I knew, whatever it was already breathing down my neck. One wrong step would be my last. That's a cool demon. But my body knew its place. I've been here plenty of times, knew it far too well, been dragged to it, and I knew there was always a way out. Pushed myself out of it. I knew it was a hard thing to manage, but it was never truly impossible. You'll just go back to a miserable existence either way. But I can still try to change things. My knees felt as if they were stabbed with each step I took. A broken cage you are too scared to leave. I still have to try. My lungs were on fire. My heart was tearing itself apart. You'll fall again, and I'll stand back again. Light. It stopped. I felt its breath on my neck no longer. Have your victory. You are not the first. I do enjoy these little games. Go to hell. Don't sleep too comfortable. You never know when I might pay a visit. I'll be prepared. No, you won't. No one ever does. But you've fed me plenty. Have your freedom. My body jumped back from the bed, sweaty and feeling as if I had just run for my life. It was really just a nightmare. Oh, the good news is our room looks clean again. I kind of miss the red though. The day seemed to just have started. I found the singing of birds and the sound of cars on the nearby highway. Can't really remember any of it. I stepped out of my bed and left the room. I was going to see if there was something to eat. Oh, so there is a second ending. So I didn't take my pills at all during that gameplay. So just as I almost reached that freedom, the cycle restarts. Maybe, just maybe, there is a way out if I do something different. My body felt the shock of 1,000 volts as it jerked back into reality, sweat pouring from my forehead as I sat up, catching my breath, feeling reality come into my eyes. Again! You know, I'm thinking then the way the demon works is that there has to be a way for us to break the cycle, so he has to include that. Because he says, like, you have to stick to the rules, right? So maybe, like, the inclusion of the pills and us being able to break the cycle is a rule of the game he plays. That's kind of cool. If you enjoyed that playthrough, I'd greatly appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to this channel. But other than that, you have a spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.